My steaks are seared perfectly and cooked just right under the high heat. My potatoes in the medium zone turned out perfect, and my eggs were over on the low side, cooked perfect. Look at that beautiful egg right there. Steak and eggs are one of the most delicious breakfasts you can make. It's also one of the best meals you can cook on the Blackstone Griddle once you master that dual zone cooking technique. You see, if you've ever ordered this plate at a good restaurant, you'll notice that the steak is seared and charred beautifully, while the eggs are perfectly fried on both sides with that runny yolk on the inside. That's because each of those is cooked over separate temperatures, aka the dual zone. And a lot of times you'll notice that they're cooked at the same time on the same cooking surface like our Blackstone Griddle here today. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with y'all how to set up and master the dual zone cooking technique on the Blackstone Griddle. Welcome back, friends, to week 2 of 3 of this how-to series on a Blackstone Bronco 3-burner propane griddle in partnership with Walmart. This is a 3-part series where I'll be sharing my top tips and tricks to get you and your grill ready just in time for Memorial Day, the official kickoff of summer. Now let's get our Blackstone Bronco fired up for dual zone cooking. Vámonos! Mastering dual zone cooking is great because it gives you control, versatility, and precision. So I've got all 3 of my burners on. This is what I mean by control. I can turn all 3 of them down to low. I can turn all 3 of them up to high or anywhere in between. And so having that kind of control, friends, is what makes these griddles super versatile. And again, we're going to demonstrate that today with some steak and eggs. You see, because steaks need that high heat to get that char, that texture, that flavor. And so we'll be using one of these burners super hot today, while eggs need that little delicate balance. They require much lower heat, especially if you're doing over easies like we're doing today. And that, my friends, is the precision. I can be super hot on this side and be low on the other side. And that's going to give us the ability to cook multiple things at different temperatures at the same time on the same surface. And I really want to demonstrate to y'all how the dual zone cooking can work. I have an infrared thermometer here. Let me show you guys the difference in temperatures. Right now we're low on all 3 of them. Okay, so we've got 363 right here on this burner. We're looking at 374 on this one, and on this one over here we're looking at 364. That's kind of an average, somewhere in the mid 360s. Now it's not always going to be exactly the same all the way across because we've got a breeze blowing out here. I've got a fan keeping me cool over here, and so that kind of changes the temperature just a little bit, but you can see that we're very, very close on our temperatures, and that will make very controlled and precise cooking across the whole surface. All right, now let me show you another example. I'm going to fire this one up to a medium, approximately medium. This one's going to be all the way to high up here. So let's see what that looks like in about 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, let's take a look at what the temperatures look like now. That's 392 right there, right in the middle here. We've got it on medium. We're looking at 473, and way over here on the end, we're at 500 degrees. That's going to be perfect for our steaks. We're going to turn it down a little bit more, in fact, totally off for our eggs, and I'm turning this one completely off because of radiant heat and transfer of heat as well. I already know because I've been cooking on griddles forever, and I know that this extra heat I've got here is going to travel this way. This one's on medium. That's going to continue to travel as well. We want to cook our eggs a lot slower than our steak. We might even turn this one off completely now that we've got it at 490 degrees. And that, my friends, is dual zone temperature. So I hope that helps you understand the difference. You can sear really hot on one side and low on the other by having complete and full control with your burners right here on the front. And so now that you understand it, let me show you guys a little cooking demo. Let's get fired up. Now we've been talking dual zone cooking. We've got a high and a low. But we also have a medium right here in the middle. That's where these potatoes are going to go. All right, we've got our potatoes on. We're going to let them get nice and warm. All right, so we've got a nice medium zone going here. We've got a super hot burner on this side. We've got a medium right here in the middle. We've got the low here. Going to be perfect for our eggs. We want to spread these potatoes around. That way they get nice and hot. And again, that's the beauty. These 2 zones have created a 3rd zone right here in the middle. Okay, let's get our steaks over on this side here. Ooh, listen to that sizzle. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Steak number 2. Don't forget to add a little seasoning on your steak. Salt, pepper, garlic makes an amazing and delicious steak. Listen to that sizzle. You can tell that is the high temperature zone right there. You don't hear that sizzle going on with the potatoes over here. You're not going to hear it with the eggs either. Let's give these steaks a flip first. Man, look at that. Just beautiful. Gorgeous little char. And I'm going to utilize these little rings from Blackstone for our eggs. Also going to add a little bit of butter right here in the middle. Ooh, yeah, baby. And everybody likes butter on potatoes and steak. Egg number 1. Egg number 2. You can hear that sizzle on these steaks. You've got a really high and hot temperature over here. You don't hear anything on the potatoes. All right, let's go ahead and flippity flip this egg right here. You want to move your egg around a little bit so you get a little bit of that oil and butter underneath. Flippity flip, and you're good to go, friends. Now, those eggs are pretty much cooked. We've got it flipped. Takes about 20 seconds, and we're done with everything. Friends, this whole cook took less than 3 minutes. How about that for a Blackstone griddle? These steaks are ready. Let's get them off and lay them on this plate right here. Ooh, baby, look at that beautiful steak right there. Let's get these eggs off here because they're done too. Look at that, beautiful. Let's go ahead and get these potatoes off. Woohoo! All right, friends, we have steak, potatoes, and eggs. My steaks are seared perfectly and cooked just right under the high heat. My potatoes in the medium zone turned out perfect, and my eggs were over on the low side, cooked perfect. Look at that beautiful egg right there. It's time for my favorite part of every video. I get to take that first bite. And today I'm gonna eat steak and eggs, a little bit of that yolk and a little potato all at the same time. And that, my friends, is a delicious dual zone bite off the Blackstone Griddle. All right, friends, that wraps up part 2 of 3 in our how-to series on our Blackstone Bronco 3-burner propane griddle in partnership with Walmart. Remember, I'm sharing my best grilling tips in this how-to series to get you ready for Memorial Day. So stay tuned, friends, because in part 3 of this how-to series, we're gonna be covering a very important topic that is sometimes overlooked, and that's how to properly clean your griddle so you can cook amazing meals every single time. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out the Get Your Grill On Challenge with Walmart, where I show you easy, delicious recipes to get you grilling like a pro in no time. I'll see you there. Boom!